Source 1. Source: an excerpt from a textbook that was published in 2012. The textbook is titled Ancient Civilizations. Geography played a key role in the development of Egyptian civilization. The Nile River brought life to Egypt. The river was so important to people in this region that the Greek historian Herodotus called Egypt the gift of the Nile. Because it received so little rain, most of Egypt was desert. Each year, however, rainfall far to the south of Egypt in the highlands of East Africa caused the Nile to flood. The Nile floods were easier to predict than those of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in Mesopotamia. Almost every year, the Nile flooded Upper Egypt in midsummer and Lower Egypt in the fall, coating the land around the river with a rich silt. The silt from the Nile made the soil ideal for farming. The silt also made the land a dark color. That is why the Egyptians called their country the Black Land. They called the dry, lifeless desert beyond the river valley the Red Land. Each year, Egyptians eagerly awaited the flooding of the Nile. For them, the river's floods were a life-giving miracle. Without the floods, people never could have settled in Egypt. As in Mesopotamia, farmers in Egypt developed an irrigation system. They built basins to collect water during the yearly floods and to store this precious resource long afterward. They also built a series of canals that could be used in the dry months to direct water from the basins to the fields where it was needed. The Nile provided early Egyptian farmers with an abundance of food. The farmers grew wheat, barley, fruits, and vegetables, and raised cattle and sheep. The river also provided many types of fish, and hunters trapped wild geese and ducks along its banks. Like the Mesopotamians, Egyptians enjoyed a varied diet. In addition to a stable food supply, the Nile Valley offered another valuable advantage. It had natural barriers that made Egypt hard to invade. The desert to the west was too big and harsh to cross. To the north, the Mediterranean Sea kept many enemies away. The Red Sea provided protection against invasion as well. Cataracts in the Nile made it difficult for outsiders to sail in from the south. Protected from invaders, the villages of Egypt grew. Wealthy farmers emerged as village leaders, and strong leaders gained control over several villages. By 3200 BC, the villages had banded together and developed into two kingdoms. One was called Lower Egypt, and the other was called Upper Egypt.